Hello, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little while. As you see, the Land Rover is parked behind me on my drive. Hurrah, the suspension is repaired. So I had a number of faults in my last video, and the last thing we saw was my car heading off on the back of a flatbed to Robert Country Vehicles in Tunbridge Wells, who did an incredible job. The first thing that they did was they put a new AMK compressor on the vehicle to see if it was my compressor had been burnt out or it was another issue. As soon as they put the compressor on the vehicle, it raised but then continued to sink. The next thing that they did was they looked at the copy pattern part valves that I replaced on the vehicle. These were cheap Asian import parts, and they were just failing, so the vehicle was still sinking quite quickly. Once they replaced those, they pumped the car up again and again. Overnight, in about 18 to 20 hours, the vehicle was sinking again. So I sourced for them a new air harness for the front and the back. So it's got new OEM air valves, it's got a new AMK compressor and salvaged airlines with no brakes, no repairs in them, and the vehicle goes up and down and holds. The reason for the delay in updating this channel was I've just taken the car with my family, fully loaded, all the way down to the south of France for 2 weeks and all the way back. We had absolutely no air suspension problems. The air suspension worked as it should have, and I can't fault it. However, when I first bought the car, it was really blowing smoke really badly. I jumped in under the engine, under the bonnet, and one of the first things I saw was my main big pipe going down into the intercooler had a large split along the top. So I bought some Radweld, put some putty on it, wrapped it in Gorilla Tape, and that solved the problem. So it was a good trail repair, good temporary repair. However, driving for 8 hours down in 30-degree heat in a dark coloured car, driving around the south of France, the repair has failed. And driving back from France, the black smoke was just unbelievable. So today I have with me the blue Terra Firma hoses, and I'm going to replace the intercooler hoses. So let's get to it. Right, there we go, we've got it off. It's pretty messy, that's why I had to go and put gloves on. I'll get down now into the wheel arch and take the bottom part of that pipe off. Hopefully it'll be less of a fight than the top part, because that really didn't want to come out. Cool, see you in a bit. Right, so the part is out. There's the top, and there it is at the bottom of the intercooler, just there. There's quite a lot of oil residue on the top and the bottom of the intercooler, you can see there, which is a problem for another day, I think. But we'll replace that pipe now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up with degreasant this part and the top, and then once it's all nice and clean, I will put it. I'll put the new terra firma pipe back on. So this is the top pipe that I'm going to be putting in. It's a terra firma silicon pipe. The reason I've gone for this and not OEM, I know the Land Rover community are split on this idea. However, it's my understanding that these last a little bit longer, and you get a little bit better performance because they're more rigid, being silicon and not rubber. You get a slightly better acceleration, a bit more quicker power, less turbo lag out of it. Plus, I just really like the colour, and I think it's going to look really awesome having the big blue pipes in the engine. So those are my reasons. I've got new carabiners to go on the top and the bottom. This wasn't a kit, but the people that I spoke to are now considering selling it as a kit with all the relevant Jubilee clips. Anyway, let's get cracking. Right, I've now taken out the wheel arch in the passenger side wheel. You can see here is the bottom of the intercooler pipe that we're going to be taking out. It then loops round up into this part here. So you've got a Jubilee clip at the top and a Jubilee clip at the bottom to change. Right, I've taken the pipe off there and the pipe off there. It looks in quite good condition. There are a few rubbing parts where it's rubbed, but that pipe wasn't actually broken. The next thing I'll do before I replace that with one of my blue pipes is the little pipe and the turbo actuator are located behind this heat shield and the other heat shields that are in the area. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the heat shields and then use my video endoscope to have a look at the turbo actuator and the final little pipe from the back of this metal intercooler pipe into the turbo. And if that is in really good nick with no rubbing marks and well sealed, I'm going to work on the basis of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'll leave it in place and just check that the turbo actuator isn't gunked up and is moving nicely. Put it all back together, put this pipe back on, and then take the car out for a test run. As you can see, this pipe has no oil, no damage, and is really well seated. In this video you can see the little turbo actuator moving backwards and forwards. This is showing that there's no blockage on the turbo actuator. The turbo is opening and closing as it should on the start-up of ignition and stopping. So I've got the heat shields back in place. It's a bit of a faff, bit of a fiddle, but you have to put it back on in the order that you took them off. So the first one to go back on is this heat shield here. That is tightened up by a bolt under here, just up there. The next one to go on is your back heat shield, and there's a bolt here that clips onto it, and then the front heat shield clips on with that bolt, and then the third one just down there, that one there, and job's good one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the turbo pipe, the intercooler pipe back up. I'll give that one a quick clean up, attach it back up there, and put it back together. Take the car for a nice long run. There we go. The pipe's on now. This bit was really hard to get on. Needed to use some multi-purpose grease to slip that on over the edge of the nipple. This part onto the intercooler was a lot easier to fix. It went on quite easily, and the Jubilee clips have both been done up nice and tight on there. So there we are, new 2 parts of the intercooler system replaced. As I mentioned, the small part behind here isn't going to be replaced because there's no oil residue on there whatsoever. It looks really well seated, and you know, I didn't want to disturb something that was obviously not broken. However, as you can see in the endoscope video, we did watch the turbo actuator open and close on startup and shut down, so we know that that's working really well as well. So now I'll put the car back together, take it for a test drive, and hopefully see a lot less smoke as the car runs in. Thanks, bye.